personally, you came out pretty hot. You had that extra day off, not playing in the back-to-back. Watching what happened in that last game where you weren't playing, how important was it for you to come out and set a tone early on?
I think in general, just for our group, it was important for us to come out and respond. And for me, I was just really early on taking what the defense was giving me, the way they were playing me, and guys found me early, and I was able to get into a rhythm really early.
How do you feel like you talk about responding? Third quarter, they cut it down to 13 late, and you guys, Jason hit a bunch of shots there. Just that response, considering how the past few games had gone in those situations, how important was it to get that kind of response there?
It's important. It's what we needed. It's what we've been talking about. Coach has been on us about finishing the quarters a little bit better, and Jason took it and executed, scored some big baskets for us.
With no Rob back to that 5-out lineup, you're back at the 5. What's it been like transitioning back in that direction, figuring it out at that center position since Rob went down?
I mean, it's not really that different, to be honest, just because even when he is back, there is times that we go, smaller, and I'll play the 5, and so we still do some of that. It's just a different look, and defensively we have to play a little different because we don't have him back there kind of protecting and clean and bailing us out, when we're giving up drives and things like that. So it's just a different way to play, but there's not really much of an adjustment, at least for me.
It looks like kind of mixing and matching. Joe, different guys at that position behind you. Grant getting less minutes over the couple weeks before this. What do you see he needs to kind of do to get out of that hole that he's in right now and kind of get back to being the guy he was for you earlier this year and last year?
I mean, I think, the biggest thing is for him to continue to work and stay ready and do the things that he needs to do. And he's been great at that. Grant has been very professional, very positive. And when he's getting these opportunities, he's making the most of them. And it's something that, as a team, we're just rallying together, and at the end of the day, just all we're worried about is continuing to get wins and continuing to play the right way.
For today's games, did the team emphasize on attacking the middle and locating shooters in the corners? And as you come into the game, you always see the one more passes. Does that do you come into the game purposely looking for those opportunities?
Not really. I mean, the way that we're attacking, it's just kind of like read and react. I'm putting in a position. Obviously, that Jason gets double, I get the ball. I have decision to make. Am I shooting it? Am I passing it? Just creating something. So it's really just reaction to it. And our guys, did a good job being in that position. Not only myself, but Derek White, smart when he was in that position, making sure that they were generating plays out of the double teams.
How does this game, how does this win mean for you guys? Ahead of a 6-game road trip, how important is this win?
It was very important. I mean, we lost 3 in a row, and games that I felt like we played well for a good amount of them. We just had some lapses, and just getting out of that losing streak, it's just good for our group.
Al, like John said, coming off the stretch of games that you guys came off, how would you best describe this win? Is it a breath of fresh air? Is it a much-needed win? Is it a restore confidence? How would you sum it up?
I just think it is a good win. I guess you can say it's a breath of fresh air. I don't like to lose, and but it was important. Before hitting the road, we had a couple losses here at home and a couple games that I felt like we controlled. So just happy with our group. Despite everything, we got the win. We held on to the lead, which was important, and now we get to go on the road and continue to build on that.
Joe was talking about how happy he was with the transition defense, especially since you guys missed a lot of shots at the rim tonight. They didn't really score much in transition those first three quarters. How important was it for you guys to really nail that down, especially considering like the way a lot of these games have flipped as of late? It's kind of like come there.
Yeah, I think we made it a point of emphasis understanding how dangerous they are in transition, and how they capitalize on that, and making sure that we showed Dame, 2-3 guys every time, making sure that it wasn't anything easy. So our guys did a good job of getting back and loading, and those are things that, I feel like as a team we've done a good job all year, and we need to continue to be very good in that area.
Al, you've reached the ninth at all-time three-pointers as a member of the Celtic. What's that like? I mean, for someone who you entered the NBA, that wasn't even a big part of your game, right? You sort of evolved, and also played a big part in you coming to Boston originally, and now you're here in your second stint. Key part, shooting the past week or so, shooting over 60% from behind the arc. Just tell me what that's like in terms of your evolution as a player, what that feels like to be that high on the all-time Celtics franchise list.
Well, I mean, it's it's definitely special, given all the greats that have come through here, and but it also speaks to the way that the game is now. I'm sure that some of those guys were shooting a little more of these records would be unreachable. So I just happened to be a product of playing in this time and getting these shots, and for me, it's something that we really put in a lot of work behind it, and just continue to get more comfortable shooting those threes. And I'm being encouraged by coach, by my teammates. Just continue to be aggressive and continue to shoot them, and it is pretty cool. And for me, it's the way that I feel like I can continue to have an impact on winning on the offensive end.